Hello, welcome to Empyrean's Oracle. Today we are going to be doing a reading about how you can take better care of yourself. So the first card we have, I let go of all fear and doubt and life becomes simple and easy for me. So it's clear that recently you've been encountering some doubts and some worries. We're going to try to look into what is causing those doubts and worries. We have the Fool, the Hanged Man, the Three of Cups, the King of Swords, the King of Pentacles. Okay, then we have Greeting Wellness, Opening My Mind, Meditate, Connect with Earth, and Alone Time. Okay, so I'm going to start with the Fool. I feel like a big part of you taking better care of yourself has to do with you trying new things and getting out of your comfort zone. There's also something about you maybe having a fear of looking stupid or looking silly, and that might make it difficult for you to present yourself authentically, because I'm looking at Connect with the Earth and Meditate, and even Alone Time. Like, these people are doing things outside that might raise some eyebrows, but at the end of the day, if people raise their eyebrows at what you're doing or think that what you're doing is weird, there's a high likelihood that you're never going to see those people again. So I know it's easier said than done, but try not to let the opinions of other people dictate what you do to take better care of yourself. So if you're wanting to meditate outside in Central Park, if you're wanting to go on a jog even though you're not comfortable in your body, or even though you don't have the proper form, like, just try it, okay? Because I think that once you start getting out of your comfort zone and doing things that previously would have made you, how do I say, like, doing things that previously would have made you anxious, or maybe it still makes you anxious, like, it's going to make you a much more confident person. You're going to have a greater level of trust in who you are as a person, like, it may seem small, like doing things that other people might judge you for, but in the grand scheme of things, it can really lead to you, I don't know, like doing bigger things that other people might criticize you for, but because you're so used to getting out of your comfort zone, you don't care as much, right? So don't see it as, oh, it's just meditating in the park, like, that's not going to change my life. It might not, but what if it does? What if it encourages you to stop caring what people think? That's a big thing, right? Okay, and then with the Hanged Man was next. Yeah, I think it's like what I was just saying, how you may think to yourself, like, how is me doing this small thing that scares me, how is it going to change my life? Like I said, it might not, but what if it does? It may seem small to you, but small changes over time amount to big changes. So I feel like that's what the Hangman is saying, that is, like, you may think of these small changes in your life as not meaning much because you're so focused on the bigger picture, but sometimes you need to zoom in and realize, like, okay, big changes require small changes, right? Like, small changes amount to big changes. So I think a perspective shift is in store for you. I think also taking better care of yourself is going to require you to speak up more. I feel like you have a very powerful voice. People might come to you for advice. And what's interesting is that you may think to yourself, like, oh my God, I don't really know why people come to me for advice. Or maybe you do know why people come to you for advice, but you still sometimes doubt your ability to speak life into people, doubt your ability to motivate people, even when they do come to you. Yeah, I think another way for you to take better care of yourself is to just be, like, to speak life into people, but also speak life into yourself. Like, the way in which you would motivate the people around you, you need to do that for yourself. But I also think that this King of Swords is saying that you need to honor your voice and honor its power. I think there are people in this world who have very powerful voices, but they stay quiet, maybe because in the past they were told to be quiet, maybe because they don't trust in what they have to say. It's so important for you to learn to trust your own voice. And, I can get some extra cards to figure out, like, just dropped one of the clarifier tokens. Let me get some clarifier cards to see, like, how you can speak up more. Maybe I can also look at the other cards for insight, because we do have the Three of Cups. I feel like you may have friends who, like, gas you up a lot, and I think that could be you could rely on people more to make you feel confident in your own voice, because there might be times where you want to give advice to your friends or to your coworkers, whatever, but you're worried about overstepping. If that's a fear of yours, maybe ask first, you know, do you want advice? And then offer your advice, right? You know, they don't have to take it, but it's just you learning to use your voice even in situations where you're afraid to is going to be so monumental for you, okay? It's going to be a game changer, I feel. I think also like allowing yourself to be celebrated. I feel like that kind of ties into the whole idea of you practicing using your voice by like speaking life into your friends or giving them advice. I forgot, I lost my train of thought. What was I gonna say? Yeah, like allowing your friends to celebrate you, because there might be times when you have big accomplishments, or you know, maybe you're working on something that you're really proud of, and maybe you might tell your friends like, oh, it's not that big of a deal. Like, no, if your friends want to celebrate you, allow them to celebrate you, because there are people in this world who you can tell them that you just became president and they're not going to care, not because it's not a big deal, but because they don't want you to think that they care. They don't want you to think that they are in awe of you in any way. So if you have friends who are open and honest about the fact that they're in awe of you, you need to allow yourself to be celebrated. Okay? Then we have the King of Pentacles. There's like a lot of like leadership energy here, but it's still interesting because you as a leader, you are, how do I say this? Like, it's almost giving forever student, and which is such a beautiful thing, because there are some leaders out here who they think they know everything. There's a difference between acknowledging the fact that you're experienced and not believing that things should change, or not believing that there's a different way of doing things. And I feel like you're the type of person who, even as a leader, you're going to be looking around for other people's input, not because you're not confident in your skills, but because you recognize that a team is built up of many people. It's not just you. And so it's important to have the input of other people. And that's what's going to make you a really great leader. And I feel like for the King of Pentacles, in terms of how to take better care of yourself, I don't know if like this is you or someone else. I'm going to read it both ways. If this is you, I think taking better care of yourself is sort of acknowledging the fact that it's like sort of acknowledging the traditional parts of your work. Because I don't know if this is a situation where like maybe you're doing a job that feels limiting at times, or maybe you take in a lot of opinions about people talking down on like 9-to-5 jobs or traditional jobs, and that might make you feel, I don't know, like maybe insecure about the work that you do, or it might make you feel like you're behind even when you've reached a fairly high level of your career. So taking better care of yourself can look like acknowledging how far you've come and not being afraid to go the traditional route, right? Like, think about it like this, like lawyer, doctor, those are traditional routes. Teacher, those are traditional routes. But just because something's traditional doesn't mean it isn't the right role for you. And I think that we've gotten to this place in society where it's almost like there's a whole, like the pendulum is swinging in the complete opposite direction, where we're so eager to go against tradition that now anything that even has the slightest, I don't know, like anything that reminds us of tradition, we feel the need to break it. And I think that that's kind of what's going on with 9-to-5 jobs. Like, you see a lot of people talking down on 9-to-5s. You know, I'm not saying that it's perfect. Most things in life aren't perfect, but for many people, including myself, like a 9-to-5 job gives them healthcare. It gives them the ability to have independence. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with being an entrepreneur, but the truth of the matter is it's not for everyone. And listen, think about it like this. Even if you're an entrepreneur, you're still going to end up having employees. Like, not everyone can work for themselves. I think I just went off on a tangent because I get really passionate about that topic. But yeah, like not everyone is meant to work for themselves. And at the end of the day, even if you do end up working for yourself, you may end up having employees who may see you the way that we see our 9-to-5 supervisors. You know what I mean? So try not to be so focused on diminishing the traditional aspects of the work that you do, because that's sort of like what's in right now. because just because something's traditional doesn't mean it's bad. Are there a lot of things that are traditional that are bad? Yeah, but that can be said about most things. Like most things are not black and white. So if the career that you're doing brings you security, stability, and you don't mind going in, like you don't have to be jumping for joy to go to work, but like if it gives you stability, security, and it's a place that you don't dread going to, like what's wrong with it? You understand what I mean? Yeah, so I feel like that's another part of like taking better care of yourself, is just feeling more secure in a traditional role. And also because the fact that there's a lot of messages about speaking life into people and being a beginner, I'm also kind of wondering if being a parent ties into this, or being a teacher of some sort. But I feel like it's almost giving like the student becomes a teacher. I do think that while you are always learning and you understand that, there's also a message of you potentially being a great guide for maybe young people, or you know, people who are starting out in the industry that you're in. I just feel like you could be a really great mentor. So if that's something you've been looking into or something you've been considering, it would be a great idea. Okay, so then we have greeting wellness. Balance is the key to a life of infinite miracles. And I kind of just said like things aren't black and white, and you know, balance is the whole idea that there are opposites that can coexist, right? We have opening my mind. I allow myself to see beyond my beliefs and ideas. Yeah, like there's a lot of preconceived notions that are holding you back. Like I said before about maybe feeling judged, maybe feeling strange about being a beginner. But we all have to start somewhere, right? And then we have meditate, alone time. Excuse me. We have meditate, alone time, and connect with the earth. If meditating is something you're interested in, I would highly suggest maybe looking up some guided meditations on YouTube. The length of some of the videos can be very intimidating. Like there are some meditations that are like an hour plus long, but if you're just starting out and you know, you're kind of intimidated by the idea of just being able to sit with your thoughts, I would suggest like looking up like 5-minute meditations and then starting there, so you can get comfortable like observing your thoughts for that period of time, and then you can slowly move up if that's something you're interested in. And then also alone time. Like I do feel like you spend a lot of time around people, so it's really important that you give yourself the time to recharge. Like say for example, like if you work at a place that has a ton of people, but then you also go home to like kids or other responsibilities, like don't be afraid of on your lunch break, I don't know, like sitting in your car or like going out to places that don't have a lot of people. I just feel like you need time to rest and recharge. That could even look like going on a walk. You know, if you're able to schedule time off from work, I wonder if like going to the beach or something would be great for you. It's also like maybe park events. Like I don't know if there's a park near you that has like group meditations or group yoga or something. I feel like that could also be beneficial for you. You know, because I do feel like you are meant to be around people. Like even like, I mean, everyone needs their alone time, even people who love to be around people. But I say like, even though it's important for you to have your alone time, I think that you would maybe benefit from doing like group meditation or group yoga where like other people are also like, where other people are at different stages of mastery, because that can encourage you to, you know, keep meditating or keep doing yoga, so you can maybe get to the level that other people are at. Like not in like a comparison sort of way, but just like a wow, like that's inspirational, you know what I mean? I think that could be beneficial for you. So like the cards were saying, it's about balance, like the balance between having your alone time and like understanding that it's important to be around people. Like it's not just a social benefit, it's also a cognitive benefit. Like being social, like what, especially as you age, like the more social you are, it can aid against cognitive decline to a certain extent. Yeah, that's what I read about in school. Yeah, so just being social is extremely important. So don't discount the benefits of that. Even if you're someone who is afraid of being social, maybe you have social anxiety, maybe you just had bad experiences with doing group activities, don't be afraid to like don't let past experience sully future experiences. Okay, let's look at these little charms. I flipped them over by accident, so I don't know which like side they were originally on, but let's see. Okay, so we have, I thought this was a wheelchair at first. We have like a camera, an ear, a horse, Cupid, and then a ring. Okay, so because of the fact that I first thought that was a wheelchair, and then we have like ear and then horse, like I'm kind of wondering if there's like if there is something significant about like old movies or something like that. Because I don't know, like the horse, it just made me think of like the old movies that had animals, and like the film was very slow because it's like, you know, the beginning of that era. I don't know, but because of the fact that we have Cupid and then this ring. One thing I will say is that, although there's like two messages here. If you're an older person who is worried that the time has passed for you to fall in love, you need to rethink that, okay? The next message is that I'm kind of wondering if there is a filmmaker who you are going to get romantically involved in. This person could be slightly older than you, or maybe there's like a large age gap. Just thinking of like the different combinations. If there's any of you who like want to have like a farm life, like cottagecore type stuff, that's possible for you. Don't think that it's not. It definitely is. I think I just move those same pieces around. Let's do. And like, if you in the past dated people who didn't like your interests, there's a potential for you to meet someone who likes the silly stuff that you like. Like, well, not silly, but like, say for example, if you like romance movies and past partners told you that it was corny, it's possible for you to meet someone who wants to watch romance movies with you. You know what I mean? Like, don't think that just because people in the past didn't want to do it, that doesn't mean that someone else won't. And also, your spirit guides might speak to you through movies or videos, like, or even audiobooks. So if you notice that you zone out during like movies and stuff, but then at like a certain point, like the same point in time in that movie, you sort of become aware again, pay attention to what was being said at the point that you started being aware again, because that could be spirit sending you a message. Someone might also be getting like proposed to, or you might hear about a proposal. If you are getting proposed to, it's going to be everything you've ever dreamed of. Like, you could have a certain way or a certain idea of how you want to get proposed to, and it's going to happen exactly that way, okay? Okay, so surrender your belief in scarcity. The universe is asking you to open to the infinite nature of abundance. In this way, you can remove blocks in your life and succeed beyond your wildest dreams. Yeah. So I'm wondering if I could relate that to the King of Pentacles. Maybe right now or in the past, you were so focused on working because you didn't want to be poor, you didn't want to be broke. And so maybe now you're at a point where it's like, maybe I missed out on a lot of things because I was so focused on working. It could also be something about your hobbies. Like, maybe, let's say for example, there could be a part of you that's like, oh, I don't really want to meditate because like I don't fit the aesthetic of people, of a person who meditates. Like, it doesn't have to be an aesthetic thing, right? I feel like aesthetics are in right now. You can look however you look and meditate, okay? Those things don't have a look to it, even though certain people might convince you that those activities have, like, the people who do those activities have a look to them. They don't. So don't be afraid of just going out in the world as your true self and not caring what other people think, okay? Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope everything works out for you. And yeah, I hope you have a great day, night, or whenever you're watching this. See you later. Bye.